Show.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 580 Show, episode 193. Myself and Dante. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Most famous backdrop in producing history. There.
It changes every week almost.
Yes, sir. Most famous strongman producer in the game. But man, if you're listening to this, we really appreciate it. It's a strongman palooza this weekend. So much going on. It's maybe a guest next week, but I just wanted to pop on real quick and just talk about all the strongman this weekend because there's OSG Europe's overseas. There is, which is from my understanding, a really big deal for those guys and girls. And then we have the Shaw Classic, and then at the Shaw Classic, we also have Strongest Man on Earth. And then as a coach, I had a few clients competing this weekend. So, like I was telling you, Dante, it's just one of those weekends where I am quickly reminded how much strongman takes over our lives and, my life specifically. So, yeah.
Sir.
But I don't have much to add on Europe's. I mean, I was up both days at like 5 a.m. watching when it started. The show ran great from what I saw. I'd be curious if any of our overseas people could comment and or message us and let us know how it went, as an athlete. But it was pretty cool. I don't know who was doing the live stream for that, but they did a really good job. And it seemed like it had a pretty good flow. It's a 2-day show. I specifically watch my class just because I like to see those guys. I've competed with a lot of those people. Chris Harper finished the 80. He finished the 80 kilo class. He won everything. He won World's Strongest Man. He won Europe's. He won Scotland's Strongest Man. He won what else is there? He basically finished all the big shows in like a year. So congrats to him because it was a pretty dominating performance by him as well for my class. So not much to comment there, but good job. I was watching the whole time. But the big thing is obviously the Shaw Classic. The amateur stuff is really cool. I like how they cut down. What are your thoughts on the only 3 events to get to the top 10 guys and girls?
I don't know. We talk about it a lot. We want to try to see who the best strongman is. And 3 events is kind of hard to really get that. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to really eliminate the playing field. And we did mention it yesterday in the gym that I think if it works out the way we talked about it, it would work out. Maybe putting like 4 events on day 1, cut the playing field in half, 2 events day 2, cut that to the top 10, and then day 3 do like the final 2 events or something like that.
It would even, if you don't even want to add events, it would be cool to do 3, then cut the field in half, and then day 3 is the finals with like the top 10. You know what I mean? Like just cut, and then finals. But I'm up here in the peanut gallery, I'm in the cheap seats commenting. I've loved it. I think what Brian Shaw's doing is incredible, and I think he legit could take over strongman if he wanted to, just across the world, not even just the United States, because this is really impressive, and I think this is really cool. I definitely think we should get someone on because I would like to hear the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if you saw, Dante, their behind the scenes like recovery room and all the stuff the athletes had.
I didn't see any of that, but I saw all those the production side behind the scenes stuff, which was
they had cool. All like super nice ice baths set up for everyone, like post comp and everything.
Oh, you know what? I did see the ice baths. I saw like some of the 105s in there.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, like how cool. So I don't know. Is the Shaw going to be the new Arnold? And like, is it just going to be a huge expo and surrounded, revolving around strongman? It could be.
I don't know, every year it's gotten bigger. So,
and
people like it. The good production, good presentation. I don't think there's too many gripes behind the scenes, at least what I've seen. I know there was some controversy with the Stones yesterday, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second because there was some controversy behind the press too, and with the deadlift. So I'll talk about that in a second. But I just want to go back to about the cuts. I understand why they did it so early after 3 events. And the best people are going to be good at. They're going to find their way, right? 99% of the time. I think it's apparent watching today on the final day, the best people, for the most part, got to the finals because everyone's putting on a show. And when you have a show this year where anyone could sign up, you, there's a lot of people, right? So I mean, I
Right.
know they capped it, but there's a lot of people. So how many events can they do and make it still logistically run well? So I fully understand. I'm just, we're just speaking our piece with that. So I get it, but all the equipment looks so good. It looks so uniform. The farmer's handles from Rogue, like for the amateurs, look so cool.
Hmm.
Obviously, all the equipment for the pros is like out of this world, but everything, the presentation, the commentators, the live stream, it's pretty incredible. So um yeah, I hope to see my good friend Dante Petrella there next year as a 105. We'll see.
Yeah, tables turn and stars align. I think that's one. That's at least it's, if I was going to return to 105, I think that's a good one to return to.
For sure. That's cool. You make the weight cuts worth it. Go the big weight cuts, make it worth it for the big shows.
I
So
know.
I'll be curious how they'll do it next year.
The way I look at it now is like I've cut weight not so many times, but I've cut it enough where I know it sucks. And just to like do it at local show levels just for fun, it's just not fun. So
It's
uh,
definitely not
as
worth it.
someone who cuts weight, I like to. This is something I think would be worth cutting weight for. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm definitely jealous. I want them to add my class, but I understand like keeping it just lightweight and heavyweight. I totally understand that because you want it
hey,
to run well. I don't want it to get over flooded. Like I just don't I think part of the beauty what I'm liking this weekend is like they have the 4 lanes for the floor classes. That was another thing I liked is coming out with the classes. And Frawley made a really good point. It's like, well, it's single lane classes, but what's really cool about that is you have the same judge for each one. Because
yeah,
we've seen some weird judging this weekend. But you can't really gripe if like Jerry Pritchett's your head judge for the whole weekend, right?
yeah. See,
So
personally, I like seeing everybody in your class go once, but then when it comes down to a big show like this, to yours and Frawley's point, having the same judge does matter because it keeps consistency.
definitely matters. Definitely, you're 100% right. And honestly, from a viewer, I kind of like it because it's like, oh, I don't know that heavyweight woman that's going, but I know this guy that's a 105, or I know this girl that's a lightweight. You can kind of like, there's almost someone you want to watch in every single heat. So I really, really like the way they're doing it.
Mhm.
Um, and I mentioned like the Rogue Farmer and stuff and all the equipment, but it is so cool and impressive how Brian has everything outfit for it. And he's not just there for the strongest man on earth. Like he's in the weeds for the amateurs too. Like I literally was watching him and he's scribing, he's working logistics, he's coming out. He addressed a crowd at one point at events. He's in it, man. Like
Yep.
he's invested literally and figuratively. So, um, and then the big thing is the strongest man on earth. It's awesome. I like it. 15 of the strongest guys literally on earth. Um, there's been some weird moments. The so there was some controversy with the deadlift that everyone was like, everyone's got a comment right away. With Evan Singleton not getting his deadlift and then Mitch Hooper getting his, but that was everyone assumed that Evan was called on soft knees, which he wasn't. And they actually mentioned it on the broadcast. He was mentioned for not wrapping his thumbs around the bar and having the contact. If you do watch the video, his thumbs, it's really fingertipping them with those straps. And the broadcast team said that the athletes were clearly briefed on it, and that was a rule that was set. So was it right or wrong? I don't know, but they did say they talked about that rule. Everyone just is so quick now to jump and say Mitch Hooper gets calls and stuff like that, which
Hmm.
I don't even understand why he would. Like, what would be the advantage of Brian Shaw giving Mitch a call or telling judges to be laps on him? I don't know. Maybe there's a blaring thing, but I don't know. And the other thing about the strongest man on earth is they're using judges on the sides, like deadlift, log. They're making it is really cool to see the judging standard get elevated for having true side judges for a deadlift, like you have in powerlifting.
Hmm.
So that's another really cool thing. And then the max raw deadlift, they had an AI company and they held all these advanced statistics after each person's pull. So like it would be, Tom Stoltman pulled this, and based off the AI like that we're using on the bar, we projected he could deadlift 987. It's really, really cool.
That
So
is really cool. I did
like
see that.
what a like strongman is just it's cool to see it in this stage where it's growing so rapidly, and you have these AI companies, all these different companies getting involved now. It's just something in between events because like I've seen it at like the Rogue Invitational or something where it's a great live stream, it's a great show, but there's a lot of lulls in the action, right? You're just kind of sitting there looking at the crowd in between the events on live stream. That AI, it was like something cool that's on the screen. It's not a commercial you've seen 50,000 times already. Oh, wow, he just pulled that, but at this velocity, they're projecting this guy could deadlift over 1,000 pounds raw.
Hmm.
So little cool things like that, right? And there's probably a million things about the show I'm missing, but that's just a couple ones that jumped out to me. You mentioned the stone. I don't know if it's controversy, but issue. I'd be curious what happened because like I didn't. If there was one event I could eliminate thus far, we're filming this right before day two kicks off, so we don't know who won. It's going to be Hooper or Thor is going to win. I think it's going to be Hooper, but Thor's right. Thor, it's crazy because Thor won 3 or 4 events to start day one, and Hooper still is up 3 points. That's
Hmm.
how well round. You know what I mean? That's just how well rounded he is. Because the one event that Thor struggled in, Hooper did much better than him on the press medley. Um, but that stone, the manhood stones, I didn't understand at all how it was scored, and they didn't really describe it that well. At least I wasn't hearing it. I don't know if you were hearing it at all.
No, I really didn't
Like
get the brief.
what I would have liked is if it would have just been a ladder style. Like you start at 400 or
Hmm.
450, whatever that first stone was, and just go 450, 500, 550, 600, like to whatever stone you can get with a split time. But, like I said, peanut gallery Josh, it's easy to say, but it was weird. I don't know what was going on because guys zeroed, Stoltman zeroed. And it's so weird because you have a minute and a half. Like, why would he not run back and just hit the 450 and get a point, get on the board? Like, I don't know, because it left the door open for a lot of other guys. Because now it's going to be tough for him to podium now. So
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird for someone like Tom, who's notoriously very good at lifting stones, and he gets a no lift on a stone event. That's kind of strange.
he zeroes it.
Yeah,
He
a lot of
couldn't,
people zeroed it. One, two, three, four, five, six people
well,
zeroed it.
but why would they not just load the light? I mean, now some people zeroed it just because they couldn't load the lightest stone. And when we saying lightest stone, that stone is heavier than pretty much any gym in the world has as a stone, like besides a few. It's a 450 stone they have to start with, but why wouldn't they just hit the 450 to get points on the board? Especially when these guys are seasoned athletes, they understand, they've been to the big shows, and they see people are struggling with them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that was very, very strange to me. Be curious to hear kind of what happened. Um,
If it was a tacky issue, that sucks too. But
yeah, but it's like,
you
yeah,
just know
no,
what you're getting yourself into too. So I don't
I
know. I know
I
us like
agree.
we over prepare for tacky. We bring like three different kinds, and
And I'm sure they did too,
I know
but like it was just so it
this
was
is
such a
weird.
strange moment, and it was such a boring. That was the last event of the night, and I thought the other 3 events were so fun.
I thought it was kind of weird too how like Hooper looked like he was going for that second stone, and the one side he was loading second stone from didn't have that little like lip that the first one
Yeah.
did, so he couldn't really like roll it over. Or it looked like he was in the position where if it did have the lip, it could have rolled over, but Thor got two with it, so like I guess can't really say anything about it, but
Yeah. But that was a great observation by you. That was something like small I just didn't see, and I thought that was
it's almost like they didn't prepare you to people to do two for that side. Maybe just like they wanted to roll back or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand how it was scored. Now I have a 6-month-old baby, so I was watching with the volume pretty low.
Hmm.
So maybe they were explaining it, but I didn't understand how that was scored at all. I think, sometimes an event, you try an event, you think it's gonna be cool, and it's just not a winner, or it needs work.
Right.
It's happened to us running our local shows. So, um, certainly understand. But I thought day one was awesome. Thor broke the world record on throw on keg tossing. He didn't even have to. He just did it for the crowd, and he cleared it by damn near 2 feet, the bar with the world record weight and
Hmm.
height. I mean, so um, the press was the only other thing. There was another mistake on. Props to Brian Shaw. They made a mistake, but he came out and hey, hand up. He literally said, this is on me in front of the whole crowd. We're going to pause the action for 5 minutes, get this figured out. So what happened was the press medley was awesome. It was log, axle, log, increasing. And they had the axles custom made so they only had to have one big plate on them. So they
Hmm.
looked the exact same. Well, someone put the 405 axle where the 375 was the second, they switched the axles. And first four guys came out and no one, I think only Pavlo, however you say his name,
Pablo,
he
yeah.
he was the only one that hit it. But no one like they weren't even cleaning it because it was a 405 axle as the second one. So he saw something was up, and it did turn out that they had him swapped. And like props to Brian because he could have probably taken that to the grave realistically, and been like,
Hmm.
man, it was just weird. But he did it, and then shows Brian's maturity and his experience as an athlete because they went in the back, they took a vote as athletes, like, what should we do? Like, do you guys want to just continue? But they voted to restart, and the athletes that already went got to go like kind of at the end.
Hmm.
And then that event ended up being super cool. We saw athletes get all the way to the end, finish all five implements. We saw some of the athletes come back that missed the 405, hit the 375. It was really cool. So um, yeah, max dead. I like a raw max deadlift, kick things off. That was cool. Thor is the best deadlifter in the world. It's so crazy. A 4 year layoff and he's here and he's a stud, man. He's truly a stud.
There's also, I don't know if you knew about that, but there's like a Reddit thread going on about the Shaw Classic.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people are just like putting their griefs, complaints, what they like about it on there. I'm reading it right now. It's pretty cool.
Oh, really? I'm not a
Yeah.
Reddit guy.
I
I've
just,
never
if
really
you
done
type in like
Reddit.
Shaw Classic 2024, it's like one of the first things that pop up.
It's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because like so many people complain, and it's like you're so quick to forget like how much payout and stuff there is for this show and the good it is doing for the athletes. It's cool to be critical and have critiques, but I think there's right and wrong ways to go about it, right? Like, don't be a dick. But
I have a question for you about the live stream now. We bought the pay-per-view. Did you buy the raffle?
I did not buy the raffle.
I thought that was an interesting twist.
What I saw that. What was it again?
It was like you get like a Brian Shaw bobblehead, like a something signed by all the athletes. You get like trading cards. There's like a couple different things, but like you don't get it per se. It's like if your name gets drawn out of like a hat
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they'll send it to you, which is kind of cool, like a little incentive to
So
try
the
to like.
raffle is an athlete signed shirt from all the athletes, athlete signed deck of trading cards,
That's what it
Brian Shaw
is.
limited edition bobblehead, and then a wooden plaque signed by all the athletes. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool twist. Like that's little stuff that like why not? It's cool. Generate more money. Probably go straight to the athletes.
That's what they said. Said the more people buy raffle tickets and stuff, the more prize pool they have for the athletes.
That's awesome.
Now, I don't
That's
know. Are
incredible.
they paying out the like the amateur show
I
too?
don't know. I imagine they are. I mean, obviously, it's nowhere near what the strongest man on earth is, but I'm sure they are in some form or fashion. But I guess we'll see here shortly.
Yeah, I was just curious
Um,
about that. So
yeah, me too. That was a question I did have, and I don't know the answer to. So if someone knows what the prize pool is once this drops, comment, let us know. But yeah, that'll be our Dante. That'll be our goal next week. We'll have someone on. You should try to land Brian Shaw
okay,
for next week. See if you can land him. All right.
I'll send him a couple emails.
Send Carrie an email. That's his wife. All right, I'm
We'll do.
putting Dante on the spot. Let's see if Brian Shaw's on in the next 2 weeks, Dante succeeded. If not, he failed.
And you
But
owe me $100.
I'll give you $100 if you get Shaw on. If
Okay,
it has to be in the next 2 weeks.
okay, deal.
All right, everyone. Well, we'll see you guys next week. We'll have a guest on, someone from the Shaw Classic or Brian Shaw. So,
Maybe
let's,
both.
yeah, maybe both.
See you
But thank
guys.
you so much for listening. Bye, Grit Mountain Chalk. our new horsepower flavors out. Polar Express sold out, Dante. That's cool. And we've got a powerlifting meet coming up in 3 short weeks at 580 barbell. So a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of stuff in strongman we want to talk about. So we will see you guys all next week for 194. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Bye.
Peace.